Well, the evaluation's been pretty limited. Got a chance to see guys move around a little bit, but I like that it looks like it's a group that has depth. I think there's a group that has different talent pool, from what we can choose from as far as, we got guys with length and we have the kind of quick slot type receivers. So when we get to in the spring ball and really truly getting an athletic eval on them, I think I have a better idea of kind of where they stand. But as far as getting them into the office and seeing them, around the complex and talking to them, I'm pleased with just kind of their mindset and their attitudes. They look like they're willing to want to be great and to put work in and to really start this process moving into spring ball.
What do you think is the next step for a guy who's been around like Isaiah Zuber?
The next step for him, in my opinion, and I've seen him on like some highlight tapes, as we've done some recruiting things, he shows up, whether it's in the special teams game and obviously on the offense side of the ball, but just for him to be a dominant player. I think anytime once a young man gets a point to his senior year, he's shown that he can make plays, to be consistent, to become a great leader, not only in the receiver room but for the offense and for the team overall, and just be accountable and really set a standard for what it looks like to play receiver at Kansas State and to just become a dominant player.
Can you walk us through the decision process or kind of how it came to be when you got offered this job from Coach Klieman?
Decision process was pretty easy. It was bittersweet, as I've said, leaving North Dakota State even in the short period of time that I was there. That was a great season. Something that it's hard to win a bunch of games like that and win at a consistent level as that program has done. And I had a great opportunity that Coach Klieman gave me to work there. And so, but when he called me and said that this opportunity was available and that he wanted me to come with him, it didn't take long for me to make that decision and come to Manhattan, being familiar with the Big 12. Being familiar with Kansas State football and the history of this program, the tradition that's been built here, it was a decision that was one that was easy in terms of those things, but bittersweet leaving a group of guys that I was really getting close with and starting to bond with my receiver group and those coaches on that staff. So
at the same time, though, I kind of imagine that they probably understood. Would you say to an extent?
Yeah. Those guys are awesome. My last position meeting was after the championship game. And after we took some pictures with the trophy, and I was able to gather them all around for maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and we all just talked, and that was kind of our farewell to each other. Some of those guys have graduated. Those seniors have texted me and congrats and stuff, and the guys that are training right now, like a Darius Shepard, training and get ready for a chance to further his football career. You still develop relationships, and that's what it's all about, even a short period of time. And that's what we're going to do here, and that's what Coach Klieman has done in his career. It's a big stress on developing relationships with your players, with your coaching staff, with your peers, and then you kind of really become a tight-knit group, and you're able to have some success if you really truly care about your players and obviously the guys you work with.
When it comes to the recruiting, because obviously you guys came in the midst of that first signing day cycle, and now you're kind of trying to finish off the second one, all while getting adjusted here. What's been the challenges with that?
I don't know that there's been any challenges. I think just the opportunity to really start reconnecting with high school coaches and getting guys. I've mentioned that, Taylor Bratt's done a great job. He's been here and he's been kind of clued into what's going on at this place, and he bleeds purple. And so just the support staff that's been here, it's made it more seamless than what it would have been as far as just getting hired on late. You're going through a playoff run and all those types of things, so you're concentrating to focus on that one thing, and then you kind of flip your mindset, once that game was over in the championship, and now you're full-time at K-State. Now you don't feel like you're playing catch-up because so many of the support people have kind of been ahead of it, and then obviously Coach Klieman was here and doing a lot of things with recruiting. So, I think the biggest challenge was just all of us getting here together for the first time as a complete unit from a coaching standpoint, and then being able to kind of have a plan and then go execute it.
Being here for a month and a half, 2 months or whatever, obviously you're not as familiar with the school, with the program. What's made it easier, though, to kind of pitch it to kids, to parents when you're recruiting, kind of that message of this is a place you want to be? Well,
I think that when people show up here, they walk into this complex, they see the facility, they see the field, They see the tradition, the things that are on the walls. I think that makes it an easier sell. Because this place is impressive. The complex is very impressive. From all the resources that we're able to give a student athlete here, makes it pretty easy that way. But the name of the game is facilities to some degree in recruiting. Most of people are going to have facilities in the Power 5 level, but at the end of the day, it's really the people. Because I tell, even from a weight room standpoint, I tell not only recruits but even my current players that our 45-pound plate weighs the same as the guy across town or the guy in another state, that's trying to play Division I football also. It's what you kind of put into it that makes it count. So those are things I kind of try to rely on. But this place sells itself as far as the community, the fan base. You drive folks around Manhattan and they really get a sense of family here. And it's not fake. It's not fluff. It's really what you feel. And so myself included, when I showed up, and so I think this, just with our organization, the people that we have here, I think that's really what truly K-State football in Manhattan's all about.
When we were down at Frisco, kind of talking to you there, I noticed you were wearing a hoodie that said Fourth Down Army, or maybe that was a special teams hoodie. Is that something you kind of take pride in, maybe coaching special teams? Is that something you might be able to contribute here?
Yeah, I personally take pride in it, seeing as in my playing days I was primarily a special teams guy, running down on kickoff and being a center on kickoff return and things like that. And but yeah, that particular hoodie was a special teams hoodie that they had at North Dakota State. But and again, a receiver and the guys that I will coach, they have to have an expectation that they're going to be on special teams. It'll make them a better player. It'll make our team better. It'll create more continuity within the unit, and guys just taking pride in that you're not just here to catch footballs. You're not just here to be an offensive player. You're going to have to do things that are going to allow you to get on the field, and the number one priority would be special teams. In that way, if you're looking to play early and to make a contribution quickly, it typically happens on special teams.